I got married at a very young age. I was not ready for marriage at that time, but my girlfriend got pregnant. We were both from well to do families, and she was really a nice, homely girl. So our families both agreed, and she was married into my home. Instead of going for abortion or having the child outside wedlock. At the time, the news of her pregnancy was broken to me and my family. I had already secured an admission and a visa to travel to the UK to study aerodynamics, and this course was to take 4 years. My mom, God bless her, assured my wife's family that she was going to take proper care of my wife and the pregnancy in my absence. They agreed, and so I left for the UK. I didn't neglect my wife, I was calling her every single day. After the first 2 years into my course, I came back home for a holiday to see my wife and the baby. Our little baby was so beautiful and looked so much like me. When I returned back to the UK after the holidays, my parents secured an admission for my wife into one of the private universities around so that she doesn't miss out completely in life and in her education. And that was after she had, weaned our baby off the breast. The next time I returned home was after my graduation. My wife was still a very nice, homely girl that she used to be. But my desires for her had depreciated. I could no longer connect emotionally with her. Actually, truthfully, I was the one avoiding her. I had met another lady in the UK. She was in the same university as me. Her name is Tracy, and she was a complete opposite of my wife. Tracy is very lively and crazy. There is no dull moment with her. I love the way she argues about everything. She's a black queen. Before I came back home, I had already hashed a plan on how to return to the UK quickly for my master's degree program. But my mother refused, insisting that I should wait and take my wife and our baby along with me to the UK. But it was not hard to convince my mother, to allow me go so that my wife could, conclude with her own education in school and then join me later. So I returned back to my Tracy in the UK. Tracy took in as soon as I got back here in the UK, and we planned on getting married because I cannot afford to lose Tracy. Tracy knows how to bring out the sparks in me, and somehow she has become part of the system I am used to here in the UK. She perfectly understands how things work here. However, she doesn't even know that I have a wife at home. But honestly, things are getting too complicated for me to handle. I don't even know how to break this news to my parents, to Tracy, or to my wife. I suddenly lost my peace of mind and shudder and shiver at the slightest thought of, traveling home. Even Tracy herself has started suggesting that we should travel home together to see my parents so that she get introduced to them before her pregnancy becomes very obvious. Secretly, somehow, I have been hoping to hear that my wife at home had fallen in love with another man. But this is not the case. That woman cannot even look at any person outside. How do I wriggle myself out of this situation? Should I first tell Tracy about my wife and my daughter? What should I do? Should I tell my parents about Tracy on the phone and avoid going home? But this will present Tracy in a bad light. Or should I confide in my wife at home and ask for forgiveness? But I'm afraid she will change. My parents, especially my mother, will really get hurt and disappointed at me. What do I do?